Yo, what's up, people? Don't mind the crazy mad scientist ass hair. Uh, Try not to, because I am getting it done later. Take it out. So like, yeah, just don't mind it, please, and like, you don't have to worry about it. But we're gonna get right into the notes. Um, we're gonna get right into the video. Um, this was like, I'm gonna say this before I really get into it. A lot of these games were pretty yeah, no, a lot of these games were not okay, a few of these games are blowouts. I'm looking back at my notes, seeing what was and what wasn't. What I mean? just just kind of refreshing my memory, because sometimes it's kind of like hard to remember which games were blowouts and which games were not, because like, well, I know obviously some games were, I remember, some games, but it's kind of hard to remember all of them when it's like you're taking notes throughout the whole week. And but anyways, against the Spurs and Warriors, right? Honestly, I was very impressed with how the Warriors played. I knew that the Spurs were coming off a bad break, coming off of just being up on the Lakers. We'll get to that later, right? So I knew that they were gonna be tired, but even still, you know what I mean. They came out, played a great game. The Warriors actually had a chance to win it. They had a double-digit lead for like the majority of the second quarter, and like majority of the third quarter. And um the Spurs, they kept fighting. They were able to get it on the floor at one point, and then the Warriors got it right back up, and then it got back down to the 7 point game. And it's just like, once that third quarter hit, it's like, okay, yeah, the Spurs, they really locked in. They like, okay, let's lock in. They just started like, just hitting their shots. The defense got better. The offense got a lot better. The Warriors went cold at one point. It was, myself, as a Warriors fan, it was kind of embarrassing to see, because I'm like, dang, bruh, you had a double digit lead on not only the second best team in the West, but the third best team overall in the league. And you gotta finish them off when you have the chance. And the fact that they didn't finish them off is just like, okay, yeah. If we had Curry, maybe. You know what I mean? But we really just couldn't stop Wembanyama. I mean, Wemby was like, he's always an X factor in the game. Like, um, I don't know if there's a stat on it, but the amount of times he's forced people to like just take threes just by him standing there, because in literally 2 steps he can make it over there and block the shot. Or yes, he's made people pass the rock out because he's standing right there, and no matter how high you shoot it, it feels like he can. It feels like he can just like, you know what I mean? But that's besides the point. I mean, the Warriors, they played great. They played great for the most part. They were doing their best. They tried. It just wasn't enough, though, because at the end of the day, the Spurs, they were the better team, and I'd even say they're a better coach team. You know, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Knicks and 76ers. Um, the closest it got throughout that whole game was literally like the first quarter. Ever since then, it was like, oh, it's a 20-point lead. Oh, snap, it's a 30-point lead. Oh, snap, it's 34. Oh well, they got it under 24. Oh no, never mind. It doesn't really. It's not really doing much. Yeah, like it was that like Knicks versus 76ers was a blow up. You got Spurs and Lakers. Um, this one was a blowout as well. Back to back games where we had blowouts. I mean, like Wemby had 37 in the first half. He had 23 in the first quarter, my dude. It was like one or two off from like having the most all time points in the first quarter. Like not the first quarter, but in like the first half or something like that. I heard a stat. It was like, oh, Wemby was like 1 or 2 points off from having the most points in the first half. I think he scored the most points in the Spurs in the. I think he scored the most first half points in the first half for the Spurs since like 1988 and 1999 or something like that. Like, yeah. um, I mean, honestly, because I'm literally just waking up and trying to get this video out because I have I do have an appointment later today. To get my hair done. See, I didn't want to do the video later because I felt like if I did it any later, I feel like it would mess up my timing and I wouldn't do it. So I'm doing it now. Trying to get it done out the way. We have Rockets and Clippers. This was a really great game. The Rockets really have been struggling. I think the Rockets, I really thought going into this game that the Rockets were going to easily beat the Clippers. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, you look at the rosters, you look at the coaching. You know what I mean? You look at you look at the players who was playing. You know what I mean? Yeah, Kawhi is great, but who else on that team is great? You got, and then on the Rockets, you got KD, you got Sengun, you got Thompson, you got Shepard, you got Smith. You know what I mean? All five of those players are automatically better than whatever. I mean, not those five, but those four players that outside of Kevin Durant are automatically better than whoever the Clippers have on their roster. And the fact that the Clippers were able to keep it close, though, I mean, this is like, I was just surprised by it. 'Cause I'm like, oh, the Clippers, they kept it close, man. Like, I mean, they really kept it close through three quarters. I mean, like, neither team were able to actually take a significant lead from what I saw when I was watching the game. Neither team could get like, oh, largest lead of the night. Largest lead of them for them is like 5, or largest lead for them is like 4. Like, it was always like with them, like it was always a double, like a double score lead, a multiple score lead, but it never exceeded that double digit. You know what I mean? And it's like if you can keep the game close within for through 3 quarters, I feel like you'll always have a chance to win. But for the Clippers, they went down in the first few minutes. Down it was 85-72, right? But they fought back. And they were able to get it back close. But Rockets won, which I thought was always gonna be the end result. It's just that the way it got there though was just didn't happen. So yeah. We have Lakers versus Thunder. This was another game where I thought, okay, Thunder, they're gonna win. They got the better team, and well, in my eyes, they had the better team, and it just never happened. Like, I thought they were gonna blow away with this game. I'm like, okay, here comes the run where they just absolutely dominate the game, and it never happened. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, oh, weird. Like, yeah, the Thunder did go on a 12-0 run, but in the second quarter they bring it up to 50 to 38. But like the Thunder quickly got it back. Not the Thunder, but the Lakers quickly got it back down to a 6-point lead, and then by half it was a 9-point lead. So it's like if you like, and literally literally in the third quarter, at one point, the Lakers had a lead. The Lakers actually had a lead at one point in the third quarter, and it was their first lead, first one since 26-24 in the first quarter. So, and like I said, and after three, it was 93-91. I was like, okay. And like I said, if you're able to keep it within double digits, like if you're able to do that, I feel like you actually have a chance at winning. Now, like I said, it didn't happen, but just being able to be within double digits of a team that's supposed to like be beating you by like a wide margin, just like knowing that is gonna give you some like, okay, we can actually beat this team. Now the Thunder actually won. They won 119 to 110, but it's like, okay, we can beat this team. We just I don't think they had Luka that game. So yeah. Oh, forgot to mention that the Spurs and Lakers didn't have LeBron. Lakers didn't have Austin Reeves. Lakers didn't have Luka. It was pretty much a bunch of bench players. So like maybe that's why they got blown out. I just remembered that it was like just basically bench players. Oh, it's embarrassing. But I mean, they still technically still played though. They played hard though. I'll give them that. Now we have Magic versus Bucks, right? So, Kevin Porter Jr., man. I mean, this man was killing it throughout the whole game. I mean, like, whenever I was watching the game, all I heard was like, for the majority of the game was like, oh, Kevin Porter Jr. did this, or Kevin Porter Jr. with a nice assist, Kevin Porter Jr. with the bucket. You know what I mean? Like, it was like I was always hearing his name, and like he really helped. He really helped the Bucks stay in the game for the most part, because because I really think that if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't take a 54-51 lead into half. It wouldn't have been as close as it was. Now, yes, the Magic did pull away, and the Magic did win 1899, but let's not act. I don't want to act like, oh yeah, because like, oh, nothing happened on the Bucks side. Like, I do want to have some nice things to say about the Bucks. I mean, they definitely reduced their turnovers in the second, and which allowed them to shoot better. Like I said, they took a 54-51 lead in the half, and it was all because of those reduced turnovers, because they turned it over a lot in that first half. So obviously, if you can reduce the turnovers, and then obviously you're gonna see positive results are gonna sprout from that. So yeah. Then we have Seahawks versus Patriots. I mean, everyone knew this was gonna happen. I said 31-17. It was 29-13, so like, hey, sort of close. But I just want to say this: Drake May, for this being like your first Super Bowl. I mean, obviously, he didn't play a great game throughout the whole playoffs, and that's fine. He's a second year player. I don't want to dog on him too much because, like, he's still young. He still has time to grow. He still has time to become an elite QB, and I think he will become an elite QB. Just I just don't think yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's his first year in a new system. I think if the Patriots do make the playoffs again next year, like that he's gonna play a lot better. You know what I mean? I just, obviously he didn't play his best, so I am gonna say, like, okay, yeah, some of this is your fault because, you know what I mean, you're supposed to be, an MVP candidate for the majority of it, and he played like a bum. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to agree with what the people on Twitter are saying, but he just might be the schedule. Now I'm not calling him a bum, because, like, people will mince their words and people will be like, oh, you're calling him a bum. I'm like, no, I'm not calling him a bum. I'm just saying that in the playoffs he played like one. I'm not saying he is one though, because people will be so quick to talk down on someone because in the NFL, people are so quick to talk down on someone because they had a bad playoff. We're not gonna let this playoffs ruin him having a great season. He had a great season. He earned his right, you know what I mean, to be in the playoffs conversation, okay? I'm not gonna have him playing terrible in the playoffs. Let that cloud your mind and make y'all forget that he had a great regular season. You know what I mean? Like I said, second year in the league, first year in this new system. He did great. Just when it came playoff time, I just think the lights were too bright for him. And the biggest stage, when he needed to show that MVP form that he showed throughout the regular season, yes, he faced 4 top 10 defenses, but it's like, you know what I mean? You gotta show up, and he wasn't showing up. The Seahawks really dominated this game. You know what I mean? Like, it was like 2 late touchdowns made it seem a lot closer than it really was. I mean, and Kenneth Walker really deserved that. And for the people that said, "Oh, Jason Myers should have won MVP," y'all don't know ball. Oh, how is he? If he was kicking 50 or 40-yard field goals, I mean, I can understand that because the people said it's a 50-yard field goal, so 40-yard field goal. But a lot of these were just cheap shots. A lot of these were just the Patriots defense come, like, locking in when they needed to lock in. That's not, like, it was really all due to Kenneth Walker. So, yeah, Seattle wins 29-13. They absolutely dominated. So, yeah. We have the Clippers and the Wolves. Yeah, this was a pretty bad game for the Wolves. I mean, they like, for the most part, like, for the first quarter and then majority of the second quarter, you know what I mean, it was like a pretty close game. Then the Clippers took a 12-2 run. Then it was a 18-2 run. And then it was 12 at half. Then the lead got to 19. Then it got down to 11. Then it got down to single digits due to an 11-0 run in the third quarter due to the Timberwolves. Then it went right back up to 11. And then the Wolves had 59 points through the third quarter, through three quarters. And they were never able to get it right back down to single digits. Like, again, this is one of those games where I was like, okay, Wolves are gonna win. I thought it was gonna be like pretty easy. Like, shoot, Wolves are gonna win. You know what I mean? The Clippers don't only have Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi went off this game. Like I was kind of expecting him to go off, but like he really carried this team to a victory. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, dude had 12. Dude had 12 straight off the bat. I mean, like he's like he had to pull a carry job just to get this team to win. So, yeah. But it's basketball though. So I mean, like it's any given day, you know. Then we have Tennessee and South Carolina. First quarter, it was a pretty close game. Second quarter on, the Gamecocks put they put belt to ass on these Volunteers. We have women's basketball, bro. We have women's basketball. And the one game that I actually watched, the one game that I actually caught, it was South Carolina putting BTA to Tennessee, bro. It was, brother, it was 47-32 at half. It was 53-32. It was 71-41 after 3. It was 93-50 at the end. I think this was like the Tennessee's, like their women's team's worst loss in their program's history. That's how bad it was. So yeah, like I don't even know what to say, man. Like, shoot. Next up, we got Warriors and Lakers. Throughout this whole game, really, the Warriors couldn't shoot the three very well. And I think that was, like, the biggest factor of this. Like, the Warriors don't really have anyone that can actually take someone off, like, one-on-one off the dribble anymore. Like, they don't have Curry, so, like, they don't have Jimmy Butler. So, like, they're kind of relying on, like, hey, drive, kick out, hit your threes. They were not able to do that. They did go in the half, though, up 1. And then the Lakers took the lead. They got it up to double digits at one point. But then the Warriors were able to get it down to 8 after 3. They were able to bring it back down to 3. I will say that. But it really didn't matter much because, like, the Warriors, they don't really have, like, that go-to guy. The Warriors don't have that go-to guy when it's like, okay, hey, we're going to give you the ball and we're going to let you cook. And, yeah, like, the Lakers extended their lead by back. It got up to double digits. It was a 103-91. The Warriors were able to fight back, though, to get it down to 6 points. But by that point, it was, like, literally too little too late by that time it happened. And, yeah, the Lakers won. I don't know why I said it like that. But the Lakers won. Yeah, like I feel like in order for you to win, like in order for the Warriors to win these close games, they need Curry back. You know, or it just really depends on like a really, really good team effort. Because if the whole team isn't playing good, they don't have like the people necessary to actually like take Like they don't have someone that can actually take control of the game really. And yeah. So we have Thunders and Rockets. First quarter was tied. Second quarter, the Thunder took a 14-point lead. Then the Rockets stormed right back. It was a 6-point lead, and that was literally the score we went into with half. Then it got tied. Then it was 63-56. Then it was 70-68. And then the Rockets took their first lead with since 2017. Since 2017, not 2017. I mean, you could say it that way, but like people are dumb sometimes. And like, 9 years ago. She's kind of crazy. 2017 was 9 years ago. Anyways, like I was saying, okay. Don't know why I need to refocus my shit. So, Cason Wallace, he's like ever since SGA has been out with that injury, whatever injury it is. Cason Wallace, man, shoot, this man, like he's obviously had an increased role, but like this man has really been balling, bro, and and the fact, and it's like I said, I've already said this once, but the fact that that the Thunder don't have SGA and they're still like able to fight, and stay in contention with with some of the better teams in the West and some of the better teams in the East or whatever, that just shows to you how good Sam Presti is as a GM and how good he structured this roster and how good the culture is and how good the coaching is. You know what I mean? Because like most teams, when they lose their best player, Warriors, Lakers, they sort of flounder. You know what I mean? Because they don't really have the necessary people. They don't have the depth pieces to actually. They don't have the roster construction to actually stay competitive. And that's what we've seen here with the Thunder. Like, yes, they did lose 112-106, but like most teams, if they didn't have their star player, they lose by they get blown out of the water. And it's like the fact that the Thunder didn't was like a really big thing. Clippers versus Kings. Really close game all the way through. Yes, well, outside of like the first half, not the first half, but the first quarter, and then where the Kings went up 27-17, and then like literally in the fourth quarter, like around, I don't remember when in the fourth quarter, but in the fourth quarter where the Clippers had a double-digit lead, but for majority of the game, it was a really close game. You know, I was really impressed with the Kings. I mean, I don't really get a chance to see the Kings play all that much, but I do get to see the Clippers play a lot, even though they're not that good with teams. I don't understand why I'm seeing the Clippers. But, you know, Clippers, Kings, it was a great game. Clippers won 114-111. I was like, okay, you know, like I just wish I got to see more of these teams. But, you know, I can only see so many teams because, you know, there's only so many teams that actually go on, you know, national TV and whatnot. And most of the times, it's the same teams, you know. Probably because they bring in the most money, which is understandable. But it's like sometimes we're actually missing out on banger games, you know. Anyways, Pistons Knicks. The Pistons have the Knicks number. Pistons dominated. I didn't even write anything for this game. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. I didn't write anything because of how bad like the game was. The Pistons beat the Knicks 118-80. And then like 5 days, and then And then 5 days earlier, they beat the Nets 130-77. So yeah, the Nets are just a really bad team. I mean, we kind of knew that, but yeah. We have Warriors and Suns. The Warriors were just cashing it from three, man. It was like, hey, pull, green line, green line, green line, green line. You know what I mean? That's really what it was. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, green line. Okay, that's actually that I actually like. That's actually funny saying that. You know, but yeah. This was a really good game, start to finish. I mean, like the Suns, the Warriors had like a really big lead at one point, and the Suns went on a 26-10 run to lead by 6 after 3. I'm watching this. I'm watching it happen. Right. And real time, I'm like, oh Lord, we are finna sell. We are selling. I'm like, oh my goodness, we're actually gonna lose. We're gonna lose this game, right? Fourth quarter comes around. Right? Warriors going on a 12-3 run and cut it down to 4. Now it's 6. It was 97-91, right? Then we go on like a little 6-9 run, right? After being down 14, bro. We were down 14 and we came back. It was 99-97 with like a few minutes, like a minute left to go in the game, right? We go on a 4-0 run to end the game 1-1 to 97, boy. I mean, like, you know, the Suns played a great game. I really think it was the fact that we were able to, because Con Gillespie, he went off, and when they're in, like, up to that point, their most recent game that I had watched, Con Gillespie, Grayson Allen, you know, they went off. So the fact that we were able to keep them in check, right? If we look at the stats, only look at the stats. No, not team stats, but box score. Yeah. Oh no, Grayson Allen had 21, but he was really inefficient. 7 for 17, 5 for 13, and then Con Gillespie was 11 points, 4 for 12 from field and then 3 for 10 from 3. We couldn't really stop Dylan Brooks. He had 24, 10 for 24, 2 for 6 for 3, but like, it was really just the Dylan Brooks show, really. And I think what really helped like I said, in order for the Warriors to actually win games, either we need Curry to go off, or it's like it's like a team game, right? Because Santos, he had 18, Melty, he had 17, Spencer, he had 20, Horford had 13, Payne had 15. You know what I mean? We need multiple people to go into double figures just to be able to even have a chance at winning some of these games, because of how bad our roster is compared to some of these other teams. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyways, last game we have Raptors versus Bulls. Bullshit. No, I'm playing. You know, I want to say this. Kawamura. This dude, Kawamura, bro. Like, this dude was cooking, bro. Yeah, he's like 5'7", bro. He actually might be shorter than that. He might be 5'4". He actually might be my height, bro. Bro might be my height. You know what I mean? But yeah, because like I'm like 5'3", 5'4", you know what I mean? If we round that up, I'm like 5'5". But if we really round that up, I'm like 5'6". Again, if we round that up, I'm like 5'7". But you gotta add a 1 to that, so I'm like really 5'8", you know what I mean? But anyways, yeah. Outside of outside of the times where the Raptors were able to go up by 15 or go up by 10, for the most part, it was like a pretty close game. I mean, in the third, the Bulls, I mean, at half, I don't know if it's at half, but And the third, the Bulls kept it close, and it was a 6-point game. You know what I mean? And at one point, it was a tie game. And you know what I mean? So I was like, it looked like a genuine chance that, hey, the Bulls might pull this off. And I mean, like, this was like, their new players really showed up. I mean, you had Jaden Ivey, I think. You had Anthony Simons. They really showed up. You know, they scored like, the bench scored like majority of the points for the Bulls. Right? I mean, in like literally after it was tied, the Raptors went on a 5-0 run. Then it was a 10-0 run, and then the Raptors end up going up by 12 at the end. And you know the Bulls were never able to get it back close. But like the Raptors, like the Bulls, actually like their bench and like their new players were really carrying this game. You know what I mean? So yeah. It was a pretty good game, though. I will say, though, for the most part. Very impressed by Kyle Moore. He's on like a 10-day or like some sort of contract, and I think he played really well. And if he doesn't get a contract for the whole season, I'm gonna be very, very disappointed. But yeah, that was Ball. I'll catch y'all next week. Peace.